the GreenShift podcast, where we explore the future of sustainability, clean energy, and innovation across Africa. I'm your host, Nixon Kanali. Today, we are turning our attention to the digital engines running Africa's economy, data centers, the critical infrastructure powering everything from mobile money to AI tools, logistics platforms, and cloud storage. But here is the issue. According to the International Energy Agency, data centers worldwide consumed about 460 terawatt hours of electricity in 2022, close to 2% of the global electricity energy use. And as AI and cloud services grow, this could double by 2026. For Africa, a region both vulnerable to climate change and rich in renewable energy, this presents both a challenge and a massive opportunity. Let's explore how Africa's leading data centers providers, including Africa Data Center IDC, iColo, Raxio, Terraco, and even IX Africa, are rising to this challenge. Africa's digital economy is on the rise. GSMA projects over 690 million smartphone connections in sub-Saharan Africa by 2025, that is this year. Every video call, payment transaction, and AI tool depends on data centers. This demand is fueling massive infrastructure growth, but with it comes a responsibility to power that growth sustainably. Globally, cooling accounts for 30 to 50% of total energy usage in data centers, according to Uptime Institute. This is especially critical in warmer climates like Nairobi, Lagos, and even Joburg. That's why players like Africa Data Centers are investing in energy-efficient designs, sustainable architecture, and renewable energy sourcing. ADC is developing facilities across key markets, including South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, and Egypt, and it's one of the few operators focused on Pan-African scale with a clear green mandate. As sustainability becomes a business imperative, operators are rethinking the infrastructure. Terraco, for example, is optimizing cooling through AI-driven airflows and renewable procurement arguments. iColo is adopting solar power and heat containment designs across its Kenyan campuses. IX Africa in Nairobi is investing in solar hybrid energy systems supporting Kenya's green grid goals. And Africa Data Centers is working with global green building certification programs and local authorities to align data infrastructure with Africa's broader climate resilience goals.
Technology has been instrumental even in the last 5 years, 10 years, and moving forward, we see technology being instrumental in driving changes in sustainability. So we have seen in the current trends that most people are either transitioning fully to sustainable energy or using hybrid methods where they use some sources of energy that are greener than others and using this as a hybrid. So moving forward, we have seen, just even when you look at Nairobi and the transport infrastructure, we've seen more vehicles becoming EV vehicles. We've seen bodas that are EV, and this is being driven mainly by technology. From data center perspective, there is the way we've been generating energy, the way we are consuming energy. More data centers are being built more efficiently. Like for example, 5 years ago, the way data centers used to be built, they were more inefficient than the way they are being built now. If we look at something, a metric we call PUE, or power utilization efficiency, we've noticed that 5 years ago, this used to range around 2, and now it's become more efficient to about 1 to 1.2. So as we continue moving forward, how we are constructing our data centers, how we are utilizing data centers, how we are switching from fossil fuels, which is just diesel, and moving towards more sustainable energy, we think this will be driven by technology. We've seen the big tech companies in the US and around the world switching also to sustainable energy. Companies like Amazon have huge installations of solar and wind. Meta is exploring nuclear energy, which was recently categorized as green energy. We've seen Microsoft in negotiations with the Kenya government to set up a 1 gigawatt data center in Olkaria, specifically to harness geothermal energy to be able to drive the huge capacities that are coming from AI. So we believe that technology will be a big factor in terms of how it's going to drive sustainability energy uses in future.
Hey, quick pause. If you're enjoying this episode, please consider subscribing and leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform. It helps more people discover the Green Shift and join the climate conversation across Africa. You can follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn. Just search the Green Shift podcast and let us know what topics you want us to dig deep into next. All right, back to the episode. Despite the innovation, challenges remain. 1. Unreliable grid power in many African cities forces facilities to fall back on diesel, still a major carbon contributor. We also have high upfront costs for renewables and storage systems. And then there's a lack of robust regulatory incentives for green infrastructure in many African markets. Yet, the potential is undeniable. Africa's abundant solar, wind, and hydro resources, paired with the ability to leapfrog legacy infrastructure, make the continent a prime candidate for building the most sustainable data ecosystem in the world. Africa's leading data center players, that is ADC, Raxio, Terraco, iColo, IX Africa, and others, are not just responding to global trends, they are leading the way towards a future where tech and sustainability go hand in hand. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the GreenShift podcast. Data centers might not be the most visible part of our tech ecosystem, but they are among the most critical. If Africa gets it right, they'll be the cleanest, smartest, and most sustainable in the world. Subscribe to the show, follow us at the GreenShift podcast or EcoNews, and if you're building something green, let's talk. Until next time, stay innovative, stay responsible, and stay green.